Good morning. What's up, everyone? It's around 5:30 in the morning. I just prayed my Fajr, thank God. Today's a very special day. It's UFC day. So, it's kind of exciting because back in the States, it was very hard for me to, watch the UFC, especially as I'm getting older. Staying up to like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning. It was just too much. And sometimes I would actually pay for the pay-per-view and fall asleep and not even watch the main event. So, big UFC fan, been watching this for a couple of decades now. And so finally, I'm actually in Dubai now, and I get to watch it in the morning now. So I get to wake up in the morning, I get to do my prayer, and then the main event starts at 6 a.m., which is great. I mean, I'm just really excited about it, So I'm gonna do a nice breakfast, order a nice meal, let's see how this goes. By the way, Chimaev versus DTP. My prediction is that I think Chimaev is going to win by first round, second round at the most. I just really like the guy, man. He's just explosive, just an amazing athlete. He's really feared, if you think about it. Like, everyone who fights him, they already lost before they even got in the ring with him, because he's just one of those guys where you just look at his face and you crumple, because he has that warrior face that makes you want to think twice about going into the ring with him. So I don't think DTP has a chance, to be honest with you. And we'll see how it goes. Forgive my voice. It's early morning, and hopefully I got my French press. Once I drink this coffee, I will be lit up and we'll be ready to go. So let's do this. I'll talk to you guys more often. My French press coffee. Let's go. All right, let's do this. The other day I got to meet Tam Khan. And Tam Khan, if you guys don't know him, he's actually, he owns the TK MMA gym here in Dubai. But he's actually the one who converted Andrew Tate into becoming Muslim, So I was very honored to meet him. In fact, I just, saw him at the coffee shop. I gave my salams, and very, very genuine brother, man. Just a really good brother. I've seen a handful of interviews with him on YouTube, and it's just, people like that are just really down to earth, very humble, and have a lot of humility. So I just love and respect brothers like that. But I think it's also, actually I came up to him. I said, if I had a choice to meet Andrew Tate or you, Tam Khan, it was definitely Tam Khan. I mean, I would love to meet Andrew Tate, but Tam Khan is the one I really want to meet, because if he's the one who Andrew Tate's conversion was at his hands, that means that just my speculation of not even knowing Tam Khan, but just know that he has to be a good righteous brother, someone with a good character, because it's not easy to convert people like Andrew Tate, who's very stubborn, who already knows a lot, has a lot of knowledge about this world, and is a very smart guy. So that was interesting. So just imagine someone like Tam Khan who, on the Day of Judgment, he's presented all these good deeds, right? But then all of a sudden, he's presented with abundant amount of deeds that he never knew about. Because, obviously, from Andrew Tate's conversion, for example, I mean, how many people actually converted, became Muslim because of Andrew Tate? So all that goes back to Tam Khan. So alhamdulillah, may Allah bless him and his family. But just a genuine brother. Hopefully, I really forgot to ask him his prediction for the fight. Who does he have? But I'm 100% almost sure that he has Chimaev, just because he's a good Muslim brother, and he's just a great athlete, a great fighter. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. And so I'm gonna order some food, some breakfast. We'll see how that comes out, and I'm excited. Let's go. Just to talk about conversions in Islam, I think we have to all understand that we should never ever expect someone who becomes Muslim right away that person is gonna pray 5 times a day and follow everything to the T right when they become Muslim. That's not how it is. It never plays out that way. People who become Muslim, you have to give them a space. And you got to give them a lot of free passes, okay? Because it's first of all that to come over to become Muslim from another religion is a big step, and now to fulfill the commandments of Allah, to follow the 5 pillars, and it takes time. For me, for example, I started praying like at 16, 17, but it was just one time a month, one time every 2 months. In fact, it actually took me almost 7 years to pray 5 times a day. No joke. So it took me about 7 years to start praying 5 times a day. So that's how long it took me. And so, people who become Muslim, you got to give them some leeway. And the one thing we really got to stop doing is faith checking. Stop faith checking. I think faith checking is the worst, when people are like, oh man, are you praying, or do you think he's Muslim? Do you think he's not Muslim? Do you think his conversion was sincere? We have to stay away from all this, man. This is actually not good. We don't know the person's, the sister or brother's intent. We don't know what's in their heart. So never faith check anyone. In fact, I'll tell you a story. When I actually started praying 5 times a day, around like 25 years old, I gave up drinking, I gave up the club scenes, I gave everything. I just wanted to really commit myself to Islam. But what happened was, I became very zealous. I became this everything was black and white. There was no gray area. And it was like, I just wanted to be on the straight path. But I also became very arrogant. When I mean arrogant, I mean like it was just, my cousins, I became very judgmental. My cousins who didn't pray 5 times a day, I would, in my thoughts, I'd be like, man, this guy's not even praying 5 times a day, And I just became very arrogant, like in a very bad way. And I remember like one time going to my family's house, it was a big feast. And as I was sitting in the waiting for the food, as the food was arriving, I just yelled out, "Is this food halal?" And my uncle looked at me like what's wrong with you? It was not good, man, honestly. And I realized that. And I'll tell you what happened. Allah, He punished me. He punished me. In fact, He took all my prayers away. As I was becoming like really religious, I was immersing myself in Quran and learning about the religion, watching a lot of videos, following a lot of scholars. And I was doing all the right stuff, but I became very judgmental, to a point where I was judging everyone around me, my friends, my family. Oh, how come you're not praying 5 times a day? Don't eat that food. That food is not halal. I just became very arrogant, And it's ironic because, I was never like this before I came into Islam. So it was like when I came into Islam and I wanted to do everything the right way, I just became arrogant. And Allah is like, God showed me, this is not the way. You want to come to Islam, don't come in arrogant. We don't need you as a Muslim if you're going to become arrogant. So Allah tested me. He really tested me. And within that year, I lost all my prayers. I went from 5 times a day. I'm sorry. 2 years afterwards, when I was 27 years old. So just keep in mind, from 25 to 27, I was praying, I was doing everything I had to do as a Muslim, but I was very arrogant, very judgmental. just faith checking, a lot of faith checking people, and it was not cool. So Allah tested me, and you know what He tested me with? With business. The number one thing that really hit me was business and money. And that time I started a business and I lost a lot of money in it, a lot of money. And I actually borrowed a lot of money from other people as well, so it was just devastating. So I basically went from 5 times a day to 4 times a day to 1 time a day, and this actually took me, it actually went down in months, very, very fast slope. So within 1 year, I lost all my prayers. I didn't pray after that for like a good year. And then I realized something, It actually made me better. I realized that Allah was testing me. And He was telling me, look, we don't want you in this religion if you're going to be arrogant, All you're doing is, you were a great guy before you actually came and you started praying. Now that you're praying, you just became a different person, a negative person. So this is all a test. Alhamdulillah, it made me so much better. I learned humility. I learned never to faith check anyone, and just care. Just it's all about myself, Nafsi. Like, it's about yourself, Just worry about yourself. Worry about your prayers. Don't worry about what other people do. It's between them and Allah. And I realized I failed the test, but I became such a better person than that. I went back to praying 5 times a day, alhamdulillah. And the most amazing things happened to me afterwards. I mean, I think when you really humble yourself and you tell Allah, oh Allah, I'm so sorry for doing that. I'm so sorry for becoming arrogant. I'm sorry for faith checking. And you're just sincere about all that. Allah will show you open so many doors for you. And alhamdulillah, He has, man. He has blessed me a million times over. And I'm grateful every single day. You have no idea, man. Every single day I wake up and say, alhamdulillah, So, I just wanted to share that with you. Anyhow, let's go back to the UFC. Thanks. Alright, guys. So, I think this place looks good. It's my first time ordering from it. A Turkish breakfast. So, look at the menu. They have a beautiful menu. So, let's try a couple things out and see how it goes. Ooh, that looks good. Yeah, let's try this place out. All right, so our breakfast has arrived. Check this out. That's cool. All right, let's see how this is. Wow, look at that. You got 16 beautiful mini egg sandwiches. That is real nice. Real cool. Smells good too. Great presentation. These are the cheese. I love the wrapping. Look at wrapping. The wrapping is so nice. That's actually great presentation. Great marketing. Oh, that's nice. This is the cheese breads. All right, here we go. So let's try this real quick. Can you see that? That looks beautiful. A little bit of sujuk inside. Bismillah. Oh, great. Real good. It's great. Delicious. Let's try one of these cheese breads. Smell. Oh. Delicious. My rating, 8.5. Delicious.